everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Tonight I'll be doing my tips for round 22 of the 2022 NRL season. Last week I got 5 out of 8 correct, but I'm still sat top of the Coffee Lounge tipping, and also I'm doing quite well in Fergo and the Freaks tipping. I think I'm coming about 5th out of 60 or 70 people, so even though I didn't have such a good week on the tipping, I'm still doing alright in the overall competition. There's some very hard games to tip this week. There's a lot that could really go either way, but we'll start with the first one, which is kicking off on Thursday night. This match is between Penrith and Melbourne. It's being played at Penrith Park. Penrith in first at the moment and Melbourne in fourth. The head-to-head between these two sides in recent times has actually been quite even. These two sides met each other earlier in the year. Penrith won that 32 points to 6 in round 10. And then, of course, the meeting before that, how can we forget that game? The preliminary final there at Suncorp Stadium. Penrith winning 10 points to 6. For this match with Melbourne missing Jerome Hughes, that's a massive blow because he's a very good halfback and a very good organiser, and he's pivotal to their side. And they're without a couple of other players. Penrith are without some of their massive stars as well, but they demonstrated last week against Canberra that they can win without some of them important players. Because it's at home and because of Penrith's home form, I'm going to go for Penrith to win 1-12. I think this is going to be a very tight match, but I just can't go past Penrith at home on the Thursday. The first match on the Friday is between New Zealand and Canterbury Bankstown. This one's being played at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. New Zealand sat in 14th at the moment and Canterbury Bankstown in 12th. The head-to-head between these two sides recently, New Zealand's got the wood over Canterbury. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings. Looking at Canterbury's trips over to Ericsson Stadium, or as it's called now, Mount Smart Stadium, they've played 17 matches. They've had 8 wins, 9 losses, but the last time that they won over there was in 2012. So even though they don't play there every year, it is quite a long time since Canterbury's won at Mount Smart Stadium. For this match, I will go for Canterbury to win 1-12. I think looking at these two sides, especially over the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks or so, especially since Michael Potter's come into Canterbury, they've been playing way better under him than they were under Trent Barrett. And even though they've been losing matches, they are looking a lot better. So I'm going to go for Canterbury to win 1-12 on the Friday. And the main match on the Friday is between Parramatta and South Sydney. This one's being played at the Western Sydney Stadium. Sees Parramatta in 5th at the moment and South Sydney in 6th. South have won their last 5 encounters against Parramatta, and in a lot of these losses, Parramatta's lost quite heavily. They've lost by, well, South Sydney have scored 30 points, 40 points, and then in the last 3 meetings before that, 38 points. And it seems every time Parramatta plays against South Sydney, Parramatta just can't handle them. They can't handle the way that they play, and Brad Arthur doesn't seem to change the strategy going into the match against South, and especially with Latrell Mitchell in the form that he is, and with Parramatta missing Mitchell Moses and that, I think I just don't see Parramatta winning this game. So I'm going to go for South Sydney to win 13 plus on the Friday. And all Parramatta have beaten Manly and Penrith, but there's just something about them when they play against South Sydney. South Sydney just embarrass them and end up putting a high score on them. So I'm going to go for South. The first match on the Super Saturday is Sydney Roosters against North Queensland. This one's being played at the SCG. Eastern Suburbs in 8th at the moment, North Queensland in 2nd. This is North Queensland's first ever match at the SCG, and potentially probably the last ever match at the SCG, because as we all know, Eastern Suburbs will be moving into the new SFS ground. So I think you won't see North Queensland play there ever again after this one. Eastern Suburbs have won 7 of the last 10 encounters against North Queensland. The last time North Queensland beat Sydney Roosters was in round 17 of the 2019 season. They beat them 15 points to 12. Eastern won the last 4 matches in the NRL, and North Queensland's won their last 3 matches. So for me, this is definitely the game of the round. this is a really hard one to tip. I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm going to go for North Queensland to win. I think they're the second for a reason. I know that it's going to be a really tough assignment to go with the SCG and get a win, but I think that they can do it. They've demonstrated that they're a good side this year. So I'll go for North Queensland to win on the Super Saturday. The second match on the Super Saturday is between West Tigers and Cronulla. This one's being played at Scully Park in Tamworth, the home of country music. West Tigers sat second last in 15th and Cronulla in 3rd. Cronulla's won 8 of their last 10 encounters against West Tigers, and I don't know, with the West Tigers, they had a golden opportunity to ensure that they didn't come last in 2022, and they blew it there last week against Newcastle. They're still in contention for the wooden spoon, and this could really go down to the wire to see who's going to get it this year. And unfortunately for them, they're up against a Cronulla side that are very good. So I'm going to go for Cronulla to win 1-12 on the Saturday there. I think West Tigers will give them a match, but I just think in the end Cronulla will be too good for West Tigers there in Tamworth. And the final match on the Super Saturday is between Brisbane and Newcastle. This one's being played at Suncorp Stadium. Brisbane in 7th, Newcastle in 13th. The head-to-head between these two sides is quite even, and Brisbane's lost their last 2 matches. I still think that they're going to play finals. I think that they've done enough this year to play finals. And they're up against a Newcastle side who really, not many people expected them to win at Campbelltown, but they did somehow. This could be another tricky game for Brisbane. They have lost their last 2 matches, but I think they'll get back to winning ways against Newcastle. I'm going to go for Brisbane to win 13+ at Suncorp Stadium there on the Saturday. And the first match on the Sunday is between Canberra and St George. This one's being played at GIO Stadium in Canberra. Canberra sat in 9th at the moment, St George in 11th. Canberra is still in with a chance of making the finals this year if they can win this match and some of the other matches towards the end of the year. They're only 2 points behind East in 8th place. And with St George, I think their season's over. They'll just be playing for pride. They don't have a very good record down there in Canberra. Since the joint venture in 1999, they've only won 4 matches. Between 2001 and 2013, they didn't win a single game down there in Canberra. For this match, I will go for Canberra to win 1-12. They were very disappointing last week, but I think even with this whole Ricky Stewart caper going on, I think Canberra will beat St George on the Sunday. And the final match to close out round 22 is between the Gold Coast and Manly. This one's being played at Seaboard Stupid Stadium on the Gold Coast there. Gold Coast sat dead last and Manly in 10th. Manly have won their last 3 matches against the Gold Coast with a combined total of well over 100 points. And Gold Coast have lost their last 10 matches in a row in the NRL, and they sit deservedly bottom of the table. This is a big game for both sides because Gold Coast, they have to find a win from somewhere, because I think if West Tigers or Newcastle or one of them, they can get a couple of wins and the Gold Coast will definitely come last. But if they can get a win against Manly or someone, they're in with a chance of avoiding the wooden spoon. Even though if they do win this match against Manly, I think they'll still sit bottom by 4 and against. It's a massive game for Manly as well, because they're still in with a shot of making the top 8 this year. They were dealt a hammer blow last week against Parramatta, but they're still in with a chance. So, huge game, but I'm going to go for Manly to win. I just can't back the Gold Coast. They sat dead last, lost their last 10 matches in a row. There's nothing to really go on to suggest that they're going to beat Manly. So, going to go for Manly to win 1-12, and I think it'll be a high scoring match there on the Gold Coast. So anyway, that's been my tips for round 22 of the 2022 NRL season. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know in the comment section below, and let me know who you're tipping for round 22. Anyways, this has been Rugby League History. I'll catch us all later in the next one. Alright, tatty bye for now.